So up to this point, we were using Realist to find information on a given property or a given listing, and we linked the Realist reports from the MLS. But now let's look at how to access Realist directly and how to search directly in Realist, either for an individual property or to create a mailing list or mailing labels. So we can either go into Realist from the MFR login page, or if we are in Matrix, we can access Realist from the Tax tab. And once we do, we are then taken onto a home page with a search form and then a map and grid view. So let's look at a few things first. I can change my view from map only to grid only to a split view. Usually the split view is preferred, so it gives you both the map and the grid. Just keep in mind that when you close Realist, it is a set and forget system, so however you last leave Realist is going to be the view that opens up the next time you go in. On the search form, we have a form that says Quick Search and a tab that says My Search. We'll look at both of these. Under the Quick Search form, we can type in an address, an owner name or names. By clicking this plus icon, we can add multiple names. An MLS number or numbers by clicking this plus icon. A parcel identification number. So if I want to find a certain address in Realist, I just type it in and click search, and then that property pulls. I then have the ability to either double click on the grid or just to check off, select the property, and save view reports. But before we do this, let's look at one other thing. The county selected, the region. As a default, when you first go into Realist, Orange County will be selected. But you can change your region, and you can select up to 8 counties where you want to search. Now you have a decision to make. How extensive do you want to be here? If you work in multiple counties, in this case, let's just pretend I'm an agent in Pinellas County, and I'm close to Hillsborough County, Manatee County, Pasco County, and perhaps I do business in all 4 of those counties. I might want to select all 4, because if I am searching for a Pasco County subdivision and only have Pinellas County selected, I'm going to then get an error message. On the other hand, sometimes when you put too many counties in here, if you search for an owner's name or a subdivision, and there are different records in different counties, you might get more information than you want. So just decide how often you do business in each of these counties. You can always add counties in later, but you can select up to 8. So along with searching for an individual property through the Quick Search tab, I can come to the My Search tab. And under the My Search tab, there are a few icons to point out. Let's start with the second icon, the yellow folder. This is where all of your searches are. And we give you 3 default searches: a tax search, an MLS search, and a foreclosure search. The tax search has various fields from the public records, from the property appraiser's website, along with other public record sites. The MLS search allows you to find the public records, the owner information, the contact information for properties with a corresponding MLS listing. We'll do an example of an MLS search later where we really are using this to go after expired listings. And the foreclosure search to help you find distressed properties. Properties in pre-foreclosure where a list pendants has been filed. Bank-owned properties, properties that are in the auction phase. We'll do an example of that as well. And then I have any forms or searches that I saved. So now let's look at creating our own forms and searches. If I click this new icon, it gives me the ability to create my own search form with any of these fields in Realist. So maybe I want to do a search for, maybe I'm looking for the owner-occupied field, the subdivision field. Here's subdivision. And let's say maybe the owner's name. I can create my own customized search form. I can then save this form. if I click the save icon, I have the option to save this as a form, or if I had put criteria in, save it as a search. Saving it as a form simply gives me these fields to use in the future. So when I come back to my yellow folder, this owner info form is already in here. I can use this form over and over again. But if I were to put criteria into here, owner occupied is yes. Subdivision, let's select, is Northwood Estates. Now, I can run my search. I then have the option to save a search with this criteria populated to run this search with this criteria over and over again. Let's save that. And when I come into my yellow folder now, along with having this saved form, I also have this saved search. Now, every time I run a saved search, let's just pull one of my other saved searches, I actually am going to have to each time press the search icon, the search button, to execute the search. But that's just a general overview of the search forms in Realist. What we will do now is look at doing examples of a tax search, doing examples of an MLS search and a foreclosure search to come up with mailing lists and to generate mailing labels.